Hello and welcome. We're here to bring you the November workshop of the 2021, or the December workshop of the 2021 Northern Virginia Housing Expo. This year marks our 11th year of offering education, resources, and connections for people who are looking to buy or rent in Northern Virginia, or improve their financial outlook as they do. You'll find exhibits, free individualized financial coaching, links to resources, and lots of workshops on lots of topics on our website at novahousingexpo.org. We encourage you to visit often. New exhibitors and online webinars are added regularly throughout the year. Today's workshop topic is first-time buyer programs outside the Beltway. Our presenters know a lot about this topic. Remember, you can ask questions using the question mark button on the right side of your screen. Our first presenter is Belinda Falamola. She's a senior management analyst for the DC Department of Housing and Urban Development in the National Capital Area Office. Take it away, Belinda.
Good afternoon. But I also want to thank Laura Nickel and for inviting me to participate. You know, we're very excited about the work her and her staff are doing, and that I also welcome the audience that has taken their time out to be here today. We applaud you for your interest in being or becoming a first-time buyer. So let me jump right in. So I'm going to talk about FHA insured mortgage loans. So I'm coming from the perspective that as a potential home buyer, that you're going to be interested in all types of loans. FHA is going to be one, conventional, VA possibly, and all sorts of other types. So I just want to be able to give you an idea of what FHA insured loans can provide for you. And Jimmy, can you see my presentation?
Yes, we can.
Oh, okay, because I can see everybody else. So let me get rid of this. All right, here. There we go. All right. So greetings for, we have a new administration. I want to make sure that everybody know who's in charge. So Secretary Marcia Fudge is obviously our secretary of our agency. And that the person who's running our FHA is Lopa Kaluri. And then, of course, my boss, Marvin Turner, is the director of the DC National Capital Area Office. So what are we going to talk about today? So what is FHA and what is a first-time home buyer? People may know what that is, but FHA may have a different spin on it. Why choose FHA when there's all others out there? FHA versus conventional, and can I purchase after foreclosure? You know, the world changes after 2008 and going before. There's a lot of unexpected life expectancies that occurred, and so people had different things that happened to them. So they may have had a foreclosure. So maybe now they would like to purchase a home, and so they want to know, can I still purchase and use an FHA mortgage if that's the route I want to take? Can I purchase after a bankruptcy? And more importantly, I want to talk about HUD-approved housing counseling agencies. So what is an FHA insured mortgage? I want to make sure we say insured because we insure mortgages. We do not give out the loans, but we insure them. What that means is that we want to protect lenders against any losses. So if for whatever reason a homeowner may default on their mortgage, FHA guarantees the lender that we will pay the claim on the unpaid principal balance. When a lender knows that they have a less risk to take when they agree to a mortgage to a home buyer with an FHA mortgage, they're more willing to do more FHA insured mortgages. The other thing I want you to know is that when your mortgage is insured with FHA, there are certain requirements that a lender must follow to do everything possible to ensure that you do not lose your home to foreclosure. So that's one of the things on the home buyer side that is a plus when you have an FHA insured mortgage. So what is FHA's definition of a first-time home buyer? When you're going to get an FHA loan, insured loan, then you have to make sure that it's going to be your principal residence. It can't be a vacation home, or it can't be an investment property. And if it's something that, if you purchased a home before, if it's been 3 years or since, there's a 3-year period since that time, and you can be considered a first-time home buyer. If you've never ever bought a home before, and you never owned a principal residence, maybe you've owned an investment property, but you've never owned a principal residence, you're considered a first-time home buyer. If you're a single parent and you only owned a home with an ex-spouse, you're considered a first-time home buyer. Or a displaced homemaker who's only had a property with a spouse. I want you to know that I'm talking on my own experience as an FHA insured mortgage holder at this time. I'm on my 3rd house, and I'm in my 60s, so I was able to, this last time in December when I bought a home, I was considered a first-time home buyer. So it works. So why should you choose an FHA insured mortgage? Well, one of the things, they have a low down payment requirement, 3.5. They have lower credit scores at 580. I do want to put an asterisk on that, because even though FHA, its requirements is 580, you may find that when you're out there shopping for a loan and you're going to different lenders, they may have a requirement of 620 or above. That's called an overlay. FHA allows their FHA lenders to have a overlay, so that means that if they want you to have a higher credit score, that is acceptable on the FHA. However, shop around. There still may be some FHA lenders that will still allow you to have the 580. There is less elapsed time between credit problems like foreclosures or bankruptcies. We'll get to that later. Non-occupant co-borrowers can also help for you to qualify for a loan. And FHA typically have a lower base interest rate. So when you out there comparing, look at the rates between a conventional VA, whatever, USDA, agriculture, or FHA, look at the different interest rates, see which one you can get better. Usually when people do get an FHA insured loan, usually down the line, they want to refinance for whatever reason. And so you'll find out that FHA loans are much easier to do refinancing because they have what they call streamlined refinancing. Right now, there is no appraisals that are required for refinancing under an FHA loan. That's one of them, and that's a huge savings. Closing costs are higher under FHA. One of the pluses is that sellers can give up to 6% of the purchase price, so that can really help a first-time home buyer when they're trying to get all their, what we say, coins together to finalize the closing costs at the settlement. How much is, if a seller is willing to put that down, that can be very helpful, along with other programs that are there available out there. And you can get down payment assistance as a gift. We consider those gifts from friends and family, employers or churches or any other organizations. You're going to hear today that there are a lot of down payment assistance programs from the state of Virginia. And so under an FHA insured mortgage, you can use those as well. So this is just a quick chart about FHA versus conventional loans. As you can see, FHA is a government loan. Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac are not. Our down payment may be 3.5. Theirs is 3% down. Our credit score requirements are lower. Conventional loans may be higher. But one of the major differences that can always make a deal breaker for some people, particularly if they have a higher credit score and everything is working out well for them, is the mortgage insurance. Most people, because we have an upfront mortgage payment and a monthly mortgage payment for the life of the loan, whereas a conventional mortgage does not. that can be a deal breaker. Again, as a first-time home buyer, you want to look at all of your choices and figure out what is best for you. This is a quick chart. This information will be available after today's presentation. So just take a quick look. As you can see, as I said, there's an upfront fee for the mortgage insurance premium, and then there's a monthly as well. So depending on the down payment cost or percentage, then you may find out that FHA may be lower on down payment on one, but it may not be as competitive when you come to a conventional in another area. So take a look at that when you have an opportunity. So what are the FHA requirements? We've talked about some of them already, but for FY 2022, again, we still have the 580 credit score with 3.5% down. However, if your credit score is between 500 or 579, there's a requirement of 10%. One-time upfront and then the annual premium. Our debt to income ratio is less than 43% for 2022. The home must be the borrower's primary residence. We've already said that. And most importantly, they get real stringent, as they always have been, is that making sure that you have sufficient income to manage your monthly payments, you have proof of employment, and that your debt obligations will not override the ability to make your monthly mortgage payments. FHA and student loan debt. Secretary Fudge has made this one of her initiatives to ensure that people who are out there who have went and got a degree and made sure that they get the education that they believe that they desire and require, that they're not left out of purchasing a home. So the calculations have changed. The verification of debt has changed. So basically, the major thing is that the payment amount reported on the credit report or the actual document payment is used when they want to calculate the monthly obligation. Okay, that means even if you have a deferred, then your original document will be used. Let me go back. Will be used in determining that, and then 0.5% of the outstanding loan balance when the monthly payment is reported on the credit report, or if the credit report is zero. In the past, it was 1% and 2%. So as you can see, FHA has made a significant change in how they calculate it in order to give people with student debt a fighting chance to still purchase a home. So FHA and foreclosure, again, due to people having experienced certain unexpected life consequences, may have had to, unfortunately, had to go to a foreclosure, but you can still have the opportunity to seek an FHA mortgage, insured mortgage, if you are at that point. And it's been 3 years since the foreclosure. Now, the waiting period of 3 years is not when, say, for instance, as they say that it happened on the courtroom steps, it happened in June of 2020. But HUD did not make the payment to the lender until December 2020. So the 3-year count does not start until December 2020, not when you were notified that the foreclosure happened in the courthouse in June. The clock will start in December. Will you be eligible after Chapter 7 bankruptcy? Yes. 2 years after your Chapter 7 has been discharged, you will be eligible to apply for an FHA loan. And we always encourage those that if you've had a Chapter 7 in those 2 years, do everything you can to reestablish good credit and avoid taking on additional debt. Chapter 13, can you get can you be considered for an FHA insured mortgage there? Yes, you can. But the beauty of it is that you can be considered for an FHA insured mortgage while you're in your repayment plan, but you have to be in it within at least 12 months into your repayment plan and show that you've been making those payments on time. The other thing is that your lender will have to get permission from your attorney to ensure that you can take on a new loan. And the third thing, but if you've completed your Chapter 13 entirely, there is no waiting period. So with FHA, you still have an opportunity, even after bankruptcy of a Chapter 13, to still be considered for an FHA insured mortgage. So now, first time home buyer, you got all these questions. Where do I start? Who do I speak to? How much can I afford? What is my credit score? Where do I find out? Will I meet the requirements? What are the down payment assistance, closing costs? Where do I get it? Who can I talk to? Very good questions. And this is where FHA comes in. We always encourage that you seek out our grantees called HUD-approved housing counseling agencies. We want you to understand that because we provide them funding, they have no allegiance to FHA. They will talk about any mortgage that you're interested in, conventional mortgage, VA, USDA, it doesn't matter. They're there to assist you with whatever, what is best for you, whatever path you want to take. They're there to help you. It's just that we provide them the funding. They're trained housing professionals in all aspects of home buying. That means in all type of mortgages, financial literacy, credit counseling, budgeting, everything. They're great in providing you one-on-one counseling. People are very sensitive about when they start talking about their finances. And so that one-on-one counseling is very important to them and to our counselors in working with them. They review the documentation and to answer any questions that you may have. You may find that there may be some barriers, or they may point out some barriers that you may not be aware of as a first-time home buyer. They can create a plan of action, as I call it, to help you prepare to purchase. You have to lay out your whole life. You have to look at your debt, your credit, your income. Are you really prepared to mow the lawn? Do you really want to do that? Are you prepared to get homeowners insurance, or all the things that are necessary before and after you purchase a home? Those are the things that you can discuss with a counselor. Housing counselors review your credit report, as we just said. They're there to help you clean up any adverse credit. They'll help you develop a budget and provide counseling and money saving methods. As I said in the earlier presentation, housing counselors are not just there for pre-counseling in getting you into a house. They're there for post-purchase as well. Our life is not the same. It changes all the time. You may get a better job and make more money, or you may lose the job and things change. Your housing counselors are there to help you through whatever you may be going through. And the main thing is to make sure that you're able to maintain your home ownership. So this is just a list of things that you need to look for. Checklist, just a minor, quick checklist. I said in the last presentation about home inspection, how that is such a, what I call a most important thing to do. When I was looking for a house, I went through about 10 houses, and I paid for a home inspection for each one. Was it costly? Yes, about $300 a pop. But the most important thing, I was so excited by each and every one of those, or I would not have wanted a home inspection. But that person saved me hundreds of thousands of dollars if I had bought one of those houses without a home inspection. It would have cost me tens of thousands of dollars with the problems that person found. So it is a great investment to always get a home inspection. So I'm telling you, make sure you do that. So we may be hearing a lot about, appraisals and the biases, racial biases that are going on. Just want as a quick reminder that HUD is there under our Fair Housing and Equal Opportunity Office about housing discrimination. And the fact that the Secretary has made this a new initiative, people of color can be discriminated against without them being told straight up that they are, through the area of, as we said here, your debt to income ratios may be too high, the appraisal didn't meet the requirement, you need more money down. Those are things that first-time home buyer may take that as gospel and walk away and may not purchase a home. So your housing counselor or yourself, if you believe that you may be a victim of any type of discrimination, predatory lending, including appraisals, please be aware that you can contact the HUD hotline, and it's not on you to prove it. It's just simply for you to make the belief and give us the information, and we will do the investigation, because you have the right to live where you want. So the state of Virginia has a down payment assistance grant program. They're going to talk about that in full detail. I just didn't want to miss out. I didn't want them to think that I would not mention them at all today, but they have a great program and they will talk about that in detail coming up. And so here is our websites. Obviously, I'm pushing HUD housing counseling agencies again. They are there for you to talk about any type of mortgage assistance, down payment assistance, whatever type that you're interested in. There is a complete guide on how to buy a home, regardless of whatever mortgage you choose. And you know, the market is very tight right now. So if you're not going to build a house, or existing homes is a little bit out of your range, you might want to consider HUD foreclosed homes. Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac also have foreclosed homes. And so I have given the websites that you might want to consider buying your first house through that medium. So I just want to say thank you very much. I appreciated the time to share this information with you. And for those who are going out there to take that chance, I wish you the best. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Belinda. Our next presenter is Regina Pinckney, Business Development Officer for Virginia Housing. Take it away, Regina. It sounds like you might be muted, Regina.
Okay. My name is Regina Pinckney. I'm the Northern Virginia Business Development Officer for Virginia Housing, formerly known as VHDA. And I'm going to share a little bit with you about who we are, what we do, why we do it, and how it benefits you as a consumer. We are a not-for-profit housing organization with the Housing Finance Authority in the state of Virginia. And so our mission is solely to facilitate in Virginians finding stable, quality, affordable housing. We do that through rentals as well as home ownership, but we're here to talk about home ownership today. And so let's talk a little bit about qualifying or being eligible for a Virginia housing product. Now, the first and major requirement is that one be a first-time home buyer. And so a lot of folks think that that means that you have never owned a home before. And in our case, it is not. A first-time home buyer is someone who has not lived in a home they've owned in the last 3 years. So who might that person be? Sometimes it's military personnel. They've owned a home in Texas. They've been stationed in Virginia. They'll be here for a while. They haven't lived in their old home in Texas for 3 years. They are a first-time home buyer in Virginia and can purchase using Virginia housing programs. Sometimes for displaced homemakers, folks have gotten a divorce. Both names are on the home, but one partner has moved out, the other is still living in there. Once the partner that's moved out has rented for 3 years, they too are a first-time home buyer, even though their name is still on that old marital home. So that's something important to know. We also have income limits. Now we have maximum income limits, not minimum. We have sales price limits, again, maximum, not minimum. And we can't exceed those limits in order to participate with our programs. But you'll see in my next slide that our limits are very generous. Inside here, I'm the Northern Virginia rep, so most of the area that I deal with is in this Washington, Arlington, Alexandria region. And you can see we've separated households into groups of 2 or fewer, or 3 or more, and then broken those categories down into standard financing, where you're paying every penny back, or income limits for those who want to take part of our grant to assist them in buying a home. And you can see those incomes are significantly lower, but still really very high for grant programs. And I'll talk more about that a little bit in the future. So let's talk about the benefits of working with Virginia Housing. As a former lender and now an employee at Virginia Housing, I believe that one of our most powerful tools is that we give you so many options. We do USDA loans in rural areas, loans for veterans, conventional loans, FHA loans. We use the different agencies, Freddie Mac and Fannie Mae, to give you, the consumer, the benefits that each agency and loan type might offer. Also, we have specialty programs, and honestly, that's where my heart is, because that's when the magic happens. You take a regular conventional loan, you pull it up under Virginia Housing's umbrella, and then you give it some, for lack of a better word, a shot of steroids, right? Make it more powerful with our specialty program. So let's talk about our DPA program, or our down payment assistance. And you saw that for 2 or fewer, our income limit, maximum income limit for 2 or fewer in the Northern Virginia region is $116,000, and that's gross income. We don't count net. Now, when we're using grant income, we count household income. And so that household income would have to be under $116,000 for 2 or fewer people. But you can use our down payment assistance with either an FHA loan or a conventional. And no matter which loan type you need, we give you enough grant money so that you only need 1% to cover the entire sales price of the home. So for a conventional loan, you'd have a 97% first mortgage, a 2% grant, and then you would need 1% of your own funds. And when I say your own funds, those funds, that extra 1% can be from another program or a gift to you, as well as your own money from your 401k or your cash savings. Now, what about the people who don't need a down payment? They're using 100% financing, like we see available for a VA loan that's designed for veterans, or a rural housing loan that's designed for more rural areas. That's already 100% financing nationwide. And so for Virginians who take advantage of those programs under our umbrella, we offer a closing cost assistance grant. The closing cost assistance grant uses the same income limits as the DPA or down payment assistance. And the closing cost grant is 2% of the sales price or appraised value, whichever is lower. Our grants are forgiven at settlement, truly free money. We don't record it anywhere. It doesn't affect your interest rate or your loan at all. If you're eligible for the grant, it is a true gift. Now, what if your household earnings or your earnings in general are too high to receive the grant? Well, we know that just because incomes are high doesn't mean that wealth is high. You may make good income, but you may not have the opportunity to save a lot of money, especially living in high-cost areas like Northern Virginia. And so we have our plus second mortgage. And what our plus second mortgage does is it allows a consumer with a minimal credit score of 620 to secure financing at 100% of the sales price of the home. So at that point, the borrower needs no down payment. They just need closing costs. They'd have a first mortgage, and at a 620 credit score, it would be an FHA first, and then they have a 3.5% second trust, giving them 100% financing, and then cover the closing costs, and you're in there. But if you have a 680 credit score or above, you're eligible for 101.5% financing. So if you were doing an FHA loan still, you'd have a 96.5% first, and you'd have a 5% second, giving you, again, 101.5% financing. And what's that extra financing do for you? It helps cover closing costs, which is really important in a market like the one we're in now, where sellers are not likely to help with closing cost assistance. So another specialty product is our mortgage credit certificate, and we offer this MCC to borrowers for free who do a Virginia housing loan. If you, for some reason, are not using a Virginia housing loan as your first mortgage, you may purchase an MCC for a one-time fee of $750. Now, from approved Virginia housing lender. So the MCC converts 10% of the interest that you pay on a mortgage to a dollar-for-dollar federal income tax credit. So if let's say you paid $20,000 in interest, that means 10% is $2,000. So your tax credit is $2,000. Now let's say the IRS says you should have paid us $20,000 this year. You apply that $2,000 tax credit, and now you should have only paid them $20,000. And you can do that with an MCC every year that you live in the home. The key is to get the mortgage credit certificate before secured or committed to before you go to closing, because this is a first-time homebuyer product. If you go to closing, get the keys, and live there a month or two, and then realize, oh, I need to get the MCC, that would be too late. So talk to your lenders and make sure that you get the MCC as a part of your loan before you go to settlement. Now, Spark, sponsoring partnerships and revitalizing communities. Spark is a 1% discount on your Virginia housing interest rate based on your localities and overlays from the sponsors. Now, here are the sponsors for this year throughout the state of Virginia. Each sponsor has overlays. For example, some counties will have 0 overlays. They don't care where you used to live, where you work, as long as you're buying in that county and they have Spark funds available, because they are first come, first served. Other counties may say, we want you to use our DPA, our down payment assistance, along with Spark, or you need to live or work here for at least 6 months. So it's important for you to ask your lenders about Spark, and ask your lenders to reach out to the sponsors to ensure, 1, that they have funds, and 2, that you're eligible for them, because Spark is very, very powerful and you don't want to miss out on it. So let's talk a little bit about financing. Let's look at where the rubber meets the road. And on the left here, you see a $349,000 sales price on a home. This is from a home in Stafford County that's on the market today. And you see, I've thrown everything but the kitchen sink at it here. We have a Federal Home Loan Bank of Atlanta grant for first-time home buyers for $5,000. We have a Virginia Housing grant of $6,980. We have your first trust mortgage. And then I even took a little bit of money from the Department of Housing and Community Development Silent Second grant that is available to Virginians. And then I took $4,250 for that, requiring the borrower to come to the settlement table with $3,524.06 total. We have a 3 3/8 interest rate of 3.375, and we have a total housing payment at the bottom here of $1,893.58. Not too bad for a single-family home in this region, right? But let's improve on it a little bit. Let's look at it if your incomes are higher and you're not eligible for all of these grants. Here's a second version with Virginia Housing Second Trust. Instead of having all the grant funds, you simply have a first mortgage and a $10,470 second mortgage, requiring you to come to the table with significantly more money, $5,230 more. But you have higher income limits. We have the same interest rate, and our payment, because we added the second trust, goes up a bit to $1,939. Now, let's see what we can do with that. Forgive me, I went too far. So here's our same $349,000 home with the second trust. We need $9,200 at settlement, but we've applied Spark. See, our rate went down from 3.375 to 2.75. So you have the first trust, the second trust, and Spark, and a total housing payment of $1,753. This is with a minimum credit score of 620. Now, look at the second option when you have a score of 680 and you're allowed to borrow a little more in that second trust. What a difference the 680 credit score makes. Your cash needed at settlement goes down from $9,200 to $3,970. You still get to take advantage of Spark. You have your increased second trust, so you have a higher payment, but look at how beautiful that payment is with the second trust, with the 680 credit score and Spark, giving you a total monthly payment of $1,773.68. This is true affordability. And you would think, okay, let's look at these two payments here, apples to apples. The payment goes up a little bit on the second scenario on this page. However, look at the cash needed at settlement. It goes down $5,230. However, the difference in the monthly payment is only $20.33 a month. It would take you 21 years of paying this lower payment to pay yourself back the difference between the cash needed at settlement between these scenarios. So what I want you to take from this, I know it's a lot of math and a lot of jargon, but what I want you to take from this as consumers is there's more than one way to skin a cat. And you need to interview your lender, talk to them about different programs in the state and in your localities that can help make homeownership affordable and attainable for you. If you have any questions, you can always find us at www.virginiahousing.com. And my name is Regina Pinckney, and I thank you for this time.
Thank you so much, Regina. What wonderful information. Our next presenter is Carol Erhard. She's the Homeownership Division Director for Fairfax County. I'm making you the presenter now, Carol, and you can take it away when you're ready.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. I'm going to go over, I'm going to kind of start at the end, if you will, with this, in that when we give an overview of our program, it usually takes about an hour just to explain all the details of the program. So instead, I'm going to show you how you can get all the information. We basically have, my slides moving? We basically have three programs available. We have a first-time homebuyer program. We use the same definition as HUD and Virginia Housing for being a first-time homebuyer. There is a $25,000 minimum income, primarily because if you make much less than that, you really can't afford any of the homes on the program. But we serve families with income up to 70% of the area median based on family size. We have a community development block grant down payment assistance program. The money is forgivable, and that serves families with income up to 80% of area median based on family size. And then we have a workforce dwelling unit program. It's run similar to the first-time homebuyer, except that you do not need to be a first-time homebuyer to participate in the workforce dwelling unit program. Although you would need, if you own a home, you would need to sell that home before you buy and move into the WDU. Here are the income limits. And again, what you can see up here is the limits for the program. And we do use gross income as well. So that's everything, not just wages, tips, bonuses, unemployment income, Social Security, pensions, whatever you might have. So let me go back. So in this example, and people get confused, this is a maximum income. So they think, do I have to earn this much? This is the limit you can earn. So our first-time home buyer serves people in this category or lower. The down payment assistance serves people in the 80% category or lower. The WDU program serves families with income all the way over to this category and lower. So in this example here that's highlighted, a family of 3, first you would go down this column, find your family size, and then you would go across. So in this example, we're saying the family earns up to earns $100,000. So 100,000 exceeds this amount, it exceeds this amount, but it doesn't exceed this amount. So this particular family would be in the 100% AMI category. When we give our orientation sessions on the program, we usually spend, like I said, a whole hour doing that, but we have everything online. And so I'm just going to walk you through our website so you can find all this later. So this is our main website, and I'll pull that up for you now. And so here you'll see our affordable home ownership program. And how the program works is that as developers build new developments in the area, they're required to set aside some units as affordable. So you're living in the same community as people that are buying much more expensive versions of the home that you'll be buying. So you come down to this little icon here. Of course, you can read all this material, and then you go to our home buyer programs. And you will see this page where, again, we give an overview of the program. We talk about how it all works, so you can, read this and reread it. Take your time to go through it so you understand everything. And then you will see our first-time home buyer program here, and you'll see the WDU program here. And so depending on which category you fit into, you would click on this Learn More button, and then, or bar, and then that will take you to the details of the first-time home buyer program. And it will give you these steps. So you will see these little plus signs here that will give you some basic information about the eligibility requirements, and again, give you the current income limits and talk about our home pricing. But what you will also see are the steps. So you do need to go through all 5 of these steps, and you would click on the plus button. And for our orientation session, we have a recording of it. So I'm not going to click on this link, but this is the link you would click on to hear the recording. You can pick a language if you need it in a different language. It goes through how to select a language so that you can hear it in your language. There's an online survey you need to complete, and then there is also an application packet that gives you all the materials you need for it. It gives you the 5 steps again here, and walks you through that. It gives you the acknowledgement form that you have to sign. It tells you about Virginia housing. You do have to take a Virginia housing home buyer education class. It tells you how to access their classes. During COVID, we're allowing people to take it virtually. When they do start in person, we highly recommend that because you can hear lots of great questions from other participants. We give you the lender pre-approval. This is not for you to complete. It is to give to a lender of your choosing. We do give you names of lenders that participate with our program, which means they understand the requirements for the underwriting of the program and agree to abide by the covenants of the program, which provides a foreclosure prevention for you and for us, because it requires them to give us at least 90 days notice before they intend to foreclose if something happens. So again, this is for them to complete based on your income situation. Here's our application. And I want to point out here, this first-time home buyer drawing address, that's where you would put an address of an immediately available unit, or if you get selected from a drawing, you would put the address of the drawing you've been selected for. You need to complete all this at the end. For your initial application, you must supply all these documents with your application. If you don't, it could delay your ability to purchase a home. Anyone that's on the head of the household and the spouse, whether or not the spouse is going to be on the loan, They need to sign this. They will be, even if they're not on the loan, they will be on the deed as a married couple in Virginia. And then any adults you have 18 or older, if you have children that are 18 or older, they have to sign this form as well. We too, like HUD housing counselors, and here is a list of counselors in the Fairfax Prince William area. They're all really good. You might want to reach out to them. Some of them sometimes have savings plans that you can participate in to save up for your required down payment. So that's that packet. So I'm going to go back to the presentation. And similarly, for the WDU, it's very similar steps. You can see you start by going to the page. You would click on the WDU program if your income is higher. And again, go step by step from orientation session, complete the home buyer education class, meet with the lender, submit a completed packet. Once you get everything completed and we determine you initially eligible, we'll issue a passport to home ownership. And then again, here's more information about the selection process. We do have preferences within Fairfax County. So here's what people really want to know about, though. They want to know about what units you have available. And so here is a sample of the different types of unit listings you will see on the web page. When you go to the bottom of either the WDU or the first-time home buyer link, you will see the homes available for sale. All of our homes are listed for at least 2 weeks to be able to enter a drawing, and you need your passport. I mentioned you get a passport to home ownership once you're eligible. This is a sample of it. This is important because it has your lender purchase limit amount, and I just want to point out that you really need to, don't look at our units. For example, don't look at this unit and say, I want to buy that $262,096 unit. Sometimes our lenders forget and they'll qualify you for that amount. But then let's say you see another one and it's a little bit higher. Well, if they don't give you the maximum amount here, you'd have to go back and get another whole passport all over again. So you want to make sure when you talk to a lender that you tell them, give me the maximum amount I can purchase, because let's say you qualify for a $300,000 home. That way you could apply for this one or any other home that's up to that limit. So you don't want to have to keep coming back to get a passport. The passport also has the number of people you designate in your household. That's important because if you have 7 in your household, you're not going to be eligible to, well, you would be declined from entering a drawing for a 2-bedroom unit because you have more people in your household than the unit can hold. But primarily you want to pay attention to this as you're looking at these various units. So in this is an example of a unit where we have a drawing deadline. This deadline is passed, but it was available for 2 weeks, and people with a passport and a lender pre-approval of at least $316,000 could enter this. So you would click on the Apply Now bar here, and it would ask you to put in your certificate number, and then you could apply for that drawing. Also, when these are active, there's lots of information about the units themselves as well. We give floor plans, we give community amenities, we tell what schools they're near. As much as the developers provide us, we provide to you. So to the extent we have pictures and et cetera, we provide all that. Once a drawing list is passed, if it hasn't been sold, it becomes immediately available on our website, and it will stay up there until we get a qualified buyer on a first come first served basis that has a completed packet and all the information that we need to qualify you to buy it. So again, if you were entering this drawing, you would put this address on that address line on your application. If you enter an immediately available drawing, you would put the whole thing, in this example, 1951 Reston Valley Way, Unit 2, immediately available. That way it points out to staff as they receive the applications that we want to move on this as quickly as possible, because you can buy it as soon as you get all the materials together. People frequently ask, how long does it actually take to buy a home on your program? And I tell them it depends on how motivated you are. We've had people that see immediately available unit and they bring all their documents in, and as soon as their lender, usually within 30 to 45 days, can set up a closing date, you can have the keys to your home. But you do have to go through all those 5 steps, and like I said, submit a completed application with all the documents that are applicable to your family. This is an example of where a drawing is closed. So sometimes people look at a drawing and say, wow, I really want to get that unit. But when it says drawing closed, it is closed to additional applicants, as this says. But you should check our website. We usually say check our website once a week at least, because like I said, the listings are up there for at least 2 weeks. So if you check it every week, you'll be guaranteed not to miss a listing. The other thing, you know, I do want to say we do have some preferences that you'll learn about as you go through the orientation. But again, for these immediately available, this is a 2-bedroom, 2-bath. Normally we start with the larger family sizes, but we've had single people come in and say, I want to buy one of these units. So if it's immediately available, it is open, first come, first serve to anyone. In addition to getting units that are priced considerably lower than the market rate units in the area, we also offer the down payment assistance to families with income up to the 80% category. It's $10,000 that is completely forgivable if you live in the home for at least 5 years. If you have to move out of the home and sell it back to us within that time, you would have to repay a prorated share. So it's for every full year that you've lived in the home. So if you live in the home for 3 full years, you'd have to pay back $4,000. If you lived in the home for only 1 full year, you'd have to pay back $8,000 at the end of that. But if you live in it for 5 full years, it's completely forgivable. You do have to buy one of our first-time home buyer units or WDUs. We have had people with income below 80% buying 100% WDUs. So it's not limited based on the percent AMI of the unit. It's designated based on the income of the family. So you can buy 100% WDU with this funding if you otherwise income qualify. So in exchange for giving you a unit that's considerably lower than market rate price, we do ask you to agree to some terms. And one is that you have to live in the property as your primary residence. You're not allowed to rent it out. We don't allow investors buying our properties. It's the purpose of the program is to provide people an affordable home in a community that maybe you couldn't otherwise afford. We do send you an annual occupancy affidavit and ask you to sign, notarize, and return that to us. People get confused by this 30-year period for the agreement term. They think, do I have to live in the home for 30 years? No, of course not. You are a homeowner, and like any other homeowner, you can elect to sell the property as your circumstances change. So if something happens and you know, you get a job out of the area, you would just sell it back to us within that period. But if you live in it 30 years, these conditions apply. There are limits on the refinancing. You can only refinance the outstanding principal balance. Oops, excuse me. I didn't mean to click that. You can only finance the outstanding principal balance of the loan. You cannot roll in closing costs to that. We've had people refinancing a lot recently with the lower interest rates. You can't take out a home equity line of credit. We don't allow you to overfinance the property. When you do decide to sell, you must come back and offer it to the housing authority first. And we calculate a control price, and that control price is calculation is explained in the orientation session materials. After 30 years, you don't have to live in it as a primary residence. You could rent it. You're no longer required to fill out an annual occupancy affidavit. The financing restrictions, some still apply, but there is more flexibility for you to take some cash out on the property. You must still come back to the housing authority. Sorry, did that again. First and offer it to us. But you can offer it to us at a market price at that time. And to preserve affordable housing, we do calculate an equity share. It's not half of the amount of the property. When you take the information session online, we explain and give you examples of how that equity share is calculated. So you still end up walking away with what you paid for the property plus a consumer price index increase. And then if you sell at a market price, you get half of the increase of that market price on top of everything else. And lastly, again, this is our general website. You can email us with questions, and you can also call us. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Carol. Jimmy Kimbrough is a housing program specialist in Loudoun County, and he is our next presenter. Let me make you the presenter, Jimmy, and you can take it away.
All right. 1 second here, guys.
Sorry, Jimmy, it sounds like you were breaking up.
Yeah, I'm having trouble getting some of these things to minimize for me.
Oh, gotcha.
Sorry, this is taking so.
That's all right. Just a reminder that if you have a question to ask, on the right side of your screen, there's a question mark button, and if you type in your question there, we'll answer it at the end of the webinar.
I think I might have figured it. Did that just take me out?
No, we're still looking at the PowerPoint.
Okay, so you guys can see the power.
Yeah.
Okay.
The GoToWebinar stuff in front of it doesn't
Yeah,
show up.
that's what I'm trying to.
If you make it full screen, I believe it'll be in the background. PowerPoint full screen, I mean.
Okay. Can everyone see that without anything in the way?
Yes. It's not full screen, but I can see it without anything in the way, yes.
How about now?
I can see the slides on the left still, but I can read the slide in the middle, the main slide, I can still read it.
There we go.
Oh, now it's full screen, yeah, perfect.
Okay, all right. Thank you, guys. Sorry for that little blip. Thank you for bearing with me while I work through that. My name is Jimmy Kimbrough. I am with the Loudoun County Office of Housing. I am a housing specialist with our office. And today I'm going to spend a few minutes going through some slides, PowerPoint presentation with you guys about the programs that Loudoun County offers for homeownership assistance. So the Loudoun County Office of Housing, it's a newly created office under county administration. We have a variety of programs available to help with home ownership, as well as some programs that assist folks that currently already own homes, such as our home improvement program. We then also have grant and loan programs through our CDBG program, and then our affordable multifamily housing loan program. Like Fairfax and HUD and our other presenter today, to access our home ownership programs, you must be a first-time home buyer, meaning, of course, you cannot have had owner interest in a home in the last 3 years. I'm going to stick basically today to kind of our four main home ownership programs. First, we have our affordable dwelling unit purchase program. Then we have our down payment and closing cost assistance program, our public employee homeownership grant program, and then sponsoring partnerships and revitalizing communities. Our programs are income-based. Our programs are based on gross household income. So our ADU program, for instance, you have to be at between 30 and 70% of the area median income based on your household size and the gross annual income for that household. Again, when we say gross income, we mean income from all sources that is pre-tax. So what you make annually from all sources. Our down payment assistance program, and then our public employee grant program, as well as our BHDA sponsoring partnerships and revitalizing communities, will be referred to as SPARK. Those programs are based on a 4-person household, regardless of the household size. So again, our affordable dwelling unit purchase program is based on household size, gross income, and you have to be at between 30 and 70%. The other 3 programs are based on a 4-person household size. So regardless if it's 1 person or if it's 6 people, the income is based on a 4-person household size, and that we have highlighted in green. Our ADU, our down payment, and our grant program are all 30 to 70%. So you have to be between 30 and 70% of the AMI. Our Spark program is for those that are 70%, that are at 70% of the AMI and above. The first program, and kind of like our main program as far as home ownership goes, is our ADU purchase program. It assists first-time home buyers. The average price of an ADU right now through our program is about $150,000 to $175,000. The program, so our program, we have new construction homes or new homes, which are purchased directly from our builder partners. And then we also have what we call resale homes. Now, these are homes that already exist in our program and are being sold back through the program by current ADU homeowners. For our ADU program, all of our application process and everything is online. Once you apply to the program, you then have to complete a intake session where we kind of go over the ins and outs of the program, explain all the rules and regulations, guidelines, things of that such. And then you also have to complete Virginia Housing's first-time homebuyer education class. So the next 3 programs that we have are down payment closing cost assistance program, and then our public employee grant program, as well as the Spark program. So our down payment closing cost assistance program, these are loans that are up to 10% of the sales price of the home, or up to $25,000. So it's capped at $25,000. So basically 10% of the sales price or $25,000, whichever is less, basically. The DPCC program, these loans are for 30 years with a 5% interest rate and low monthly payments. They are secured by a second mortgage, and there's no prepayment penalty. Our public employee grant program, so our PEG program, this is a program that is for Loudoun County employees. So employees that are working for the general county government, or may work for the school system or the courts, or a constitutional officer within Loudoun County government. These loans are forgiven over 5 years with 0 interest rate, so there's no monthly payment. And again, like the DPCC program, they are secured by a second mortgage. Our Spark program is, again, this is for 70 to 100% AMI. Just want to reiterate that our down payment program, as well as our grant program, public employee grant program, are the 30 to 70% range, just like our affordable dwelling unit purchase program. So Spark is low interest mortgage loans from Virginia Housing for first-time home buyers. Applicants must receive a mortgage loan from a Virginia Housing lender participating in the Virginia Housing Mortgage Loan Program. Reimbursement of prepaid costs and cash back at closing are not permitted under program guidelines. So buyers eligible for our down payment assistance program and our PEG program may only utilize one of these programs. So if you're purchasing a home in Loudon, you can only utilize either the DPCC program or the PEG grant program. You can't access both of them for assistance with purchasing a home. This slide goes over some additional, presents you guys some additional resources. So we have our Loudoun County information and referral. You see the website as well as the phone number you can call. This provides public benefits, so it provides information about various public benefits as well as available financial assistance. It also provides pretty much any resource that Loudoun County can offer for home ownership, rental, and it's not just limited to those things. So, it's really something that if you're interested in needing or wanting information about anything within Loudoun County government as far as programs and resources, this website or by calling this number could assist you. It also can provide information on nonprofits that may be able to assist our residents in certain situations. The other resource that Loudoun County has, or that we have in Loudoun County, is our Loudoun County Habitat for Humanity. Habitat for Humanity in Loudoun County, they have home ownership programs, they have home repair programs, and then they also have educational programs such as their Tools for Life information sessions. We have provided the website for Loudoun Habitat as well. And then next couple things there are just website resources for foreclosure assistance or education. And then Stay Home Virginia is a Virginia mortgage relief program. So again, if anyone is interested or looking for assistance from any of those sources, please, visit those websites and find out more information about them. So, okay, and then this slide here kind of just shows our income guidelines for each of our programs, gives you a snapshot of our income chart. So again, ADU purchase program is between 30 and 70% based on household size. The next three assistance programs are the next two, the down payment and closing cost assistance, as well as the public employee grant program, are for between 30 and 70% AMI. And then our sponsoring partnership and revitalizing communities, Spark, is for folks that are between 70 and 100% AMI.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Jimmy. Last but certainly not least is Angela Bassett, a community development analyst from Prince William County. Let me make you the presenter, Angela, and then you can take it away.
Good morning. Can you all hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, great. Okay. Prince William County has one home ownership program. It's the first-time homebuyer program. It is reserved for people that currently live in Prince William County or work in Prince William County. The program is offered for qualified low to moderate income families or singles. Some of the basic eligibility criteria, 640 credit score minimum. The people that, if a couple is married, both spouses have to be on the loan and the deed of trust and the note and take title. And I just lost something here. Okay, let's try this one. I'm having technical difficulties here and have bad internet connection as well.
No problem at all.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I can't get my screen to share again. There we go. Okay, so our program is federally funded. There are no county funds involved.
Sorry, Angie,
Therefore,
we're
we
not
have to
seeing
follow
the,
HUD's rules.
sorry,
Pardon me?
we're not seeing the PowerPoint.
Oh, okay. I hit share my screen.
Yeah, I'm seeing a PDF. So now I see your PowerPoint.
Okay, now you see it. And see, I can't get it to, and there we go. Okay, is that better?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Okay, so with Prince William County's first-time homebuyer program, you have to be currently living in Prince William County or working full-time in Prince William County. The program is for low to moderate income families or singles that are first-time homebuyers. And first-time homebuyers are defined by HUD as someone who has not owned property in the most recent 3 years. Our program, we will provide 20 to 30% down payment assistance plus an additional 3% towards closing costs. The maximum sales price at this time set by HUD is $361,000. So if a family were eligible for the 30% down payment and the 3% closing cost, that would be over $119,000 that Prince William County would provide to assist them to purchase a home. Now, the funds that we provide are secured by a second deed of trust, also known as a silent second, because there are no monthly payments due, 0% interest rate. And if the families keep the home as their primary residence for 30 years, then the loan is completely forgiven. Should they decide to sell within the 30-year affordability period, then they pay the loan back with the proceeds of the sale. We do require of our home buyers that they complete 3 educational sessions through the Virginia Cooperative Extension. One is a 2-hour virtual class, one is a one-on-one counseling session, and the third is the VHDA home ownership seminar that kind of covers all the bases in regards to home ownership and what to expect. We do have Spark funds available from VHDA. Those funds are reserved for our first-time homebuyer participants. Okay, there we go. So some of the benefits, obviously with a large down payment, you have no monthly mortgage insurance. Your first trust loan must be a VHDA conventional loan because of the partnership that we have with, that Prince William has with Virginia Housing, formerly known as VHDA. Okay. Some of the basic eligibility criteria, as I said, you have to be a first-time homebuyer as defined by HUD. Your combined gross household income must be at or below HUD's area median income guidelines based on family size. And as I said, our program is federally funded. We have to follow HUD's rules. Now, Virginia Housing has income limits set, and those are higher than HUD's limits. We do keep our income chart, we do keep that updated on our website and also in our exhibitors booth. Okay, we do allow bankruptcies. There are certain restrictions. The bankruptcy has to have been discharged 2 years prior, a minimum of 2 years prior. If you've had a foreclosure or short sale, there are additional restrictions in terms of late payments within the last 3 years. Okay, all adult members must meet the credit criteria, such as the 640 credit score. They can have no outstanding judgments or late payments, and no late payments within the last 12 months. All household members 18 and older are required to complete the 3 educational sessions. And we do require that our families have at least 1% of the sales price, as estimated by the lender, into the transaction. Okay, so how to get started. And we do have these posted on our website, and we also have them posted in our exhibitors booth for this expo. The readiness self-check asks a series of yes or no questions, and there are little stop signs. And if you hit a stop sign, then that means you either don't meet the eligibility criteria or you need to take action. And once you've completed the readiness self-check, if you're able to get to the end of that form and you've taken your 3 classes, then you're ready to apply. Most people complete the classes within the same month, and all applications are reviewed the same week. The application checklist itemizes all of the items that need to be submitted with the application, such as your credit report that your loan officer will provide to you, bank statements, tax returns, pay stubs, typical loan application items. Okay, and we also offer a program, and the only reason I bring this up because we've had a couple of home buyers in the past couple of years that have needed rehabilitation. Now, we do require that all of our home purchasers buy home warranties, but unfortunately, many of the home warranty companies, you know, they're not as great as what we would hope. So, you know, sometimes big things happen. You know, when a family goes and does a walkthrough with a realtor, you know, everything seems to be fine. But then once they move in the house, unusual things can start happening, such as the roof starts leaking, you know, the flashing, or something needs repaired that the home inspector didn't discover during his inspection. So with our neighborhood housing rehabilitation program, we will provide up to $25,000 as a grant for certain items like roof, energy efficient items, you know, new windows, doors. It's a great program. If something were to happen for a first-time home buyer, the majority of our clients are folks that live in older homes. Okay, now the contact information. If you have any questions about the first-time homebuyer program, you can reach out to me directly. And for the neighborhood housing rehabilitation program, you can reach out to David Watkins or Amir Gonzalez. And this information is also included in our website, as well as in the exhibitor's booth for this exposition. I'm going to shut this down.
All right, thank you so much, Angela.
All right. Thank you. This has been a difficult morning, but everything seems to be working now. Thank you.
Yes, thanks for joining us. We did go over time. Sorry about that. We do have a couple questions that we're going to get to. The first one is for Belinda, and she didn't mention which program, but she asked, is it too early to apply if I want to move in July?
Too early to apply?
Yes.
No, not at all. This is a great time to go ahead and see if you got all your ducks in a row, as we call. It'll give you an opportunity just in case. I take it that you already know about your credit report, but just in case, if there's something that's there, give you plenty of time to correct that. Make sure that you get fully educated on all the down payment and closing cost opportunities that are available to you. And most importantly, to check out the housing market to see if the type of housing that you are interested in will be available at the listing price that you can afford. So no, it's not too early at all.
Thank you. And the next question was for, well, I guess it's not for anyone in particular. How much do liquid assets, savings, and IRAs contribute to income caps? And Regina, this was the, okay. Anyone can answer, yeah. But it came up when Regina was talking, so I was like, maybe it was for her, but yeah, so anybody wants to go.
For Prince William County, if a borrower's net worth is above 50% of the sales price, then they would not be eligible. And the majority of our clients, their net worth is not, you know, and their assets does not exceed the income.
For Virginia housing, a consumer's net worth cannot be greater than 50% of the sales price of the home, but there are some things that we do not count in net worth. For example, retirement instruments. So your 401k or your Roth IRA or any other IRA, that is not counted in your net worth.
For Fairfax County, we do not have a cap on the amount of assets that you can have. We would, however, count the income from the assets, and that would be added to your gross income. But we have had people that are downsizing from larger homes and pay cash from the resources of the sale of their home to buy a first-time home buyer unit or a WDU.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sorry, Jimmy. It looks like you're muted. There you go. Sorry about that. You're unmuted now.
Thank you. For Loudoun County, if you receive income from any of those sources, it is counted.
All right. Oh, Belinda?
Oh, I was just going to say for FHA, we count all sources of income.
Great. Thank you, everyone. Thank you all so much for joining us. You've given us an abundance of useful information today. And if you are watching this, be sure to share it with others that you think might benefit. It has been recorded and will be uploaded to our website later today and then shared on our social media channels. The Expo is here for the sole purpose of helping people find their way to their next home, armed with as much information and knowledge as possible. The resources on our website are updated constantly, so visit us often at buildhousingexpo.org. Again, thank you everyone who presented, and thank you in the audience for joining us. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.